Hi, this is Zach Randles-Friedman, and I'm bringing you the Listen Up Girl podcast, where I break down what's happening in the world, unfiltered, unapologetic, and with a little bit of attitude. And today we've got a mix of headlines that range from pop culture drama to something much heavier, policies that are directly impacting people's lives. We're talking Lil Nas X and major legal updates, a shocking move from the orange convicted felon that sends waves through the LGBTQ plus community. Surprise, surprise. Athletes turning to OnlyFans to survive, and some major celebrity moments that have people talking. Our first story is Lil Nas X legal update, which is funny because I literally just was thinking about Lil Nas a couple of days ago for some reason, wondering what was up with his case. So I'm going to tell you, the Old Town Road star is now on track to have his assault charges dismissed after a judge approved a 2-year mental health diversion program. Now, what that means instead of traditional punishment is the court is recognizing that this is an incident that was out of character, something they actually described as abnormal conduct. And honestly, that language matters because it shifts the conversation from punishment to rehabilitation. His legal team says he's already completed inpatient treatment and is continuing care, which is a key part of the program. Lil Nas X himself was said that the entire situation was frightening. And you can imagine going from global pop icon to dealing with criminal charges is not exactly part of the dream. But this outcome, it shows how mental health is slowly, very slowly being taken more seriously in the legal system. Next, trans student protections rolled back. So now we need to talk about something much bigger and honestly a lot more concerning. The Orange Convicted Felons Administration has terminated multiple civil rights settlements that were protecting transgender students across the United States. And let me be clear, this is not normal. Legal experts have said that this kind of move is basically unprecedented in American history. These agreements were put into place under previous administrations and required schools to respect students' gender identities, use correct names and pronouns, protect trans and non-binary students from harassment, and now they're all gone. The Department of Education is essentially saying schools are no longer federally required to uphold these protections, which means what happens next depends entirely on local school districts. Some are pushing back, but others are complying under pressure, specifically when federal funding is on the line. One district in Pennsylvania literally said that they were put in a weird position caught between federal orders and state laws that still protect trans students. And advocates are sounding the alarm. But this isn't just policy, it's signaling. It tells trans students your protection can disappear overnight, and that creates real fear. And at the same time, he's blowing up Iran when we are in a war that we shouldn't even be a part of, but I'm not reporting on that news today. Next, Olympian turns to OnlyFans, switching gears but still staying in the realm of what is going on in the world. A 20-year-old Olympian just left Team Great Britain to compete for Latvia after starting an OnlyFans to fund his career. Yes, you heard that right, because apparently being an elite athlete isn't enough to survive financially. He said traditional jobs like bartending made it impossible to train. And here's the wild part. Athletes can now earn up to 180,000 pounds over an Olympic cycle. What do they get from funding? About 21,000 pounds a year. So he made a choice, either quit or get creative. And honestly, this raises a bigger question. Why are we forcing athletes, people representing their countries, to rely on side hustles just to compete? Next, Zara Larsson calls out double standards. Zara Larsson is speaking out, and she is not holding back. In a new interview, she called out how women are treated in the public eye, especially when it comes to boundaries, and specifically defended Chappell Roan, saying when a woman has boundaries, people freak out. And she's right, because somehow men can do terrible things and still be celebrated, but women asking for space is suddenly controversial. It's a double standard we all see, but don't always say out loud. And Zara said it out loud. Good for her. Next, Dan Levy and Schitt's Creek. So this one did hurt a little, and I watched the CBS Sunday Morning interview on Sunday with this interview about Dan Levy, and it was so sad. Dan Levy says the revival of Schitt's Creek is no longer possible, especially following the loss of Catherine O'Hara. And honestly, this makes sense because Myra Rose wasn't just a character, she was the show. Fans have been begging for a comeback since it ended, but sometimes it's better to leave something iconic exactly as it was. She's very missed. Next, LGBTQ plus moments around the world. So here's some quick hits. A gay journalist says he was detained after booing the orange convicted felon at the Kennedy Center. At Boston University, they have apologized after removing pride flags following backlash. During spring break, they took down all the pride flags throughout the school. And when everybody came back from spring break, they were not happy. And I'm very happy to see that they are apologizing for that. And hopefully they will put them back up and not just apologize. And next, a professional soccer player from Argentina has come out as gay, making history. This soccer player, the Argentinian footballer Ignacio Nacho, is a 23-year-old, and he has come out, and people are going crazy because he is actually very, very cute and hot, and I'm all in for it. And then finally, a trans man's gender identity is being legally recognized in Romania after Bucharest Tribal rejected multiple appeals, opposing a previous decision. The Court of Justice of the European Union ruled in 2024 that legal gender changes in the EU state must be considered in all EU states. However, Romania has previously refused or purposely delayed cases regarding gender identity since the EU ruling. And while we're seeing all this rollbacks in some places, there is still progress happening in others, and both things can exist at the same time. So here's the takeaway today. We're living in a moment where progress and pushback are happening at the exact same time. You've got legal wins, representation, people coming out and speaking up. And when you've got policies like the ones pushed by the orange convicted felon, that they are actively trying to undo protection. And that's the story right now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow the Listen Up Girl podcast wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And yes, this is a video as well as audio on YouTube. And if this episode resonated with somebody that you know, please be sure to share this. And also, please leave a comment. I need more comments in my show to let me know what you think about it. Thanks. I will see you tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news.